Who is the main god in Irish paganism? Well, Dagda agus Fáilte. Hi, hello, and welcome. Jon O'Sullivan from the Irish Pagan School. And that is something that really needs a bit more structure to try and answer. Of course, I could give you my biased response, my knee-jerk response as a person who works with and worships the Dagda, a god that other gods defer to. It's the Dagda, but that's not really answering the question, because we need to explore a little bit deeper to get into that. Now, also, the Dagda isn't the answer that I'm going to give, even though part of me would just like to, for various reasons, which you may find out as we go through this. Um, the concept of a main god or a primary deity or a, as Julius Caesar put it, a dispater or a skyfather figure within Celtic polytheism or even Norse polytheism is quite common. And we see that quite often with cultures that had an origin story about the creation myth of their gods or the creation myths of the universe. In the Norse circumstance, there was an individual, I suppose. Was he a deity? He was known as Bror, and out of Bror's body came Odin. Then in the Greek circumstance, we have the Titans and we have Kronos, and out of Kronos came the three brothers, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. And from them, again, we get the rest of the gods. So we have a lot of other representation of these formations and these central individuals or core figures within many polytheist cultures and many polytheist beliefs. So it's understandable that people might go, well, let's apply that logic and look at the Irish gods and see which is which and which is the main god and the main person. The problem with that is that it's very, very hard to quantify. Unlike other pantheons out there and other kind of representations of deity, where some pantheons have you have a singular goddess of the harvest, or goddess of love, or god of the sun, or god of the underworld, where you have these relationships of monotask or primary dominion that exists, be it a goddess of wisdom in the Greek pantheon for Athena. Now, of course, Athena is a goddess of battle as well. I'm not saying that she's only a goddess of wisdom, but that's a primary area, whereas Aphrodite is a goddess of love. Hephaestus, god of smithcraft. So there aren't those mono singular roles and tasks, but we don't see that as often or as primary in the Irish pagan circumstances. What we have with the Tuatha Dé Danann is a collective tribe of individuals, descendant of people who were in Ireland, coming back into Ireland. And because of their existence outside of Ireland as they grew and lived, and then their journey to return to Ireland, they picked up more skills and more information. Interestingly, there was a prophecy about the return of the Tuatha Dé Danann, which occurred to the king of the Firbolg himself, a guy called Uchud, and he handed it to his druid who did divination work on it, and his druid came back and said, there is a fleet of 1,000 heroes coming, and they will be victorious in every strain, because they have all of the skills of the world upon them, pretty much. And that is the description, the first description we have of the Tuatha Dé Danann, this idea that they are this highly talented, highly skilled, 1,000 hero people. Now, when we get into the specifics of the deities themselves, they're not main or singular role deities. Every single one of the Tuatha Dé Danann, to some degree, a greater or lesser, has multiple different facets, multiple different areas where they are skilled, talented, and capable. Not just Lugh, who's known, of course, as the many interlinked skills guy, the Ildánach. Um, Mórrígan, goddess of poetry, battle, and prophecy. Now, Gwivnu might be the god of smithcraft, but he's also a god of the feast. The Dagda, Rua Rovassa, the great one of red, the red one of great knowledge, he's literally known as On Dagda, the goodly god, not because he's morally good, but because he's good at fucking everything. Not fucking everything. Sorry, I have another video about Dagda as a sex god. Go and look that one up. But he is good at everything. He is capable of everything. And this links back to our mythology and our stories when there's a meeting of the men of the goddess. Nuada, Gwivnu, Deenkech, the god of surgery and care and healing, having all of that knowledge and wisdom. All of these gods come together and they offer what talents they're going to use to defend Ireland from the invasion, pending invasion of the Fomorians. And Dagda steps into the moment and goes, everything everyone has promised, leave it to me, I'll take care of it. And Nuada is the one who turns around and goes, yeah, he is the god that other gods defer to in that instance because he is capable of everything. But that doesn't make him the main god. That doesn't put him as there is only one true head figure. And this is where we get the other confusing aspect around this because one of his other names is Allahar, which is great or ample father. Now, this gets confused with Allfather. He's not an Allfar or Allfather the same way Odin is in the Norse circumstance. He didn't father all of the other gods. He does have children. He is a Dagda, has children, and has foster children that he cares for. The goddess Brigid, for example, is daughter of the Dagda. We don't officially know the Brigid's mammy, but I have my thoughts on that, which I'll share some other time. But Brigid, poetry, prophecy, music and healing. She's actually the god that poets pray to, it's actually said. But also Smithcraft, you know? So there is no one god in the or one main god in the Tuatha Dé Danann in Irish paganism because all of the gods are capable of so many different things, and our relationship to them and the way that we can approach that relationship doesn't have to be based on one particular aspect. And I actually have problem with the pick and mix idea of, oh, I have this deity who does this, I have this deity who does that. I put wishes and prayers and offerings into this deity and they do this for me. There's nothing wrong with making offerings. It is part of building a healthy relationship with your spiritual self and with deity, but not from a transactional point of view. It should be from building a connection and a bond of friendship with deity so that you can fulfill for them and they can fulfill for you as we grow together in that light. But I'm giving a lot more spiritual advice on this than I really normally do. But to pull it back to the main question, no, there is no main god. Again, biased. I think Dagda is a really good one to go to, and everyone deserves a bit more Dagda in their life because he's a god of, abundance and fertility, not in the sex way. Again, different video. You can check that one out. But in the care and compassion for community, it's said that people who come to the Dagda's cauldron never leave unsatisfied. But satisfaction is not just solely a full belly. There is more to being satisfied in your life than just not being hungry anymore. Um, so yeah, the Morrigan, a lot of people now look to her as their primary deity or as their primary relationship. A lot of people look to Bridget as their primary deity or their primary relationship. Some people have, again, multiple. It's polytheism. That's what paganism is, a belief in multiple gods. You don't have to just, it's one god and one relationship only. I'm a monotheist expressing polytheist or pagan. No, like you don't have to. I work with one God. I acknowledge and respect the existence of all of the other gods, but that's just where I am in my process of spiritual growth at the moment. Not saying that I'll ever become a devotee of any other deity out there, but I tip my hat to the Morrigan every day when I walk past her altar space at home here. I have an affinity for Bridget. It's a weird one for me though, because I view her in a lens of the stories I hear about her from the Dagda. So other people like Bridget, amazing, powerful, fantastic deity. I'm like, yeah, she is a passionate individual who I shall not speak negatively of in any way, shape, or form. But still, yeah, okay. Um, I'm grateful to have had the time to answer this question for you. I really hope I have answered this question. We don't have a primary singular deity that sits at the center of Irish polytheism or Irish paganism. It is a tribe, it is a collection, and that is one thing that we do. We have a class, Laura, my partner, taught it called Meeting the Irish Gods. When you begin to work in right relationship with any particular Irish deity, you may find that your connection with other gods and goddesses of Irish paganism grows organically as well, because they are a collective, they are a tribe, they are a unified people, the Tua tribe, the Danann of Danu. So hopefully this has been interesting. Hopefully it's answered the question about who is the main god. There is no main god of Irish paganism, and this is a great opportunity then for you to explore your own interest, your own passion, your own curiosity around paganism and your approach to Irish pagan deities. So if you would like to know more, do make sure you pop over to the Irish Pagan School. irishpaganschool.com is where you'll find the actual classes. irishpaganschool.com/free is where you'll find the free classes. And there's also irishpagan.school/free, where you'll find over a year's worth of free resources. You can dive in, read blogs, listen to podcasts, check out more videos in YouTube's. We have a lot of content available because we want to encourage people to explore this and to learn from it for themselves. So until next time, look after yourself, take care, and